like, there you go. You got some good knowledge there. Well, our next one, though, is something that I have played. And it's something that was dear to my heart before. And it's been dashed away when I actually sleeved it up in real life. And that was Weezing. Now, I loved me some Weezing on TCGO. I remember I was online. I was testing something, probably Mali, I think it was, before Bristol. And then as I was playing, Unbroken Bonds became legal because someone was playing. I played against the Baby Clowns. No, I played against Lucario Melmat, and I was like, that's not legal. Bought some codes, redeemed them. First deck I bought was Weezing. Loved it. So I took it to a League Cup and did rubbish. So, but it has had good results though. So my question to you is, Joe, and I know you played it recently as well. So my question to you is, Joe, how legit of a deck is Weezing? So I've seen some people put it tier 1. I've seen some people put it in like really high. And even at my most hype for the deck, I couldn't have put it at tier 1, surely. So my question to you is, Joe, where are you putting it?
No, it's not tier 1. It's not tier 1 for sure. It's like, again, like we've all sort of agreed that Field Blow is just going to be a better card, and that already just sinks Weezing to an extent. Playing Evolutions sinks Weezing to an extent, so I think tier 2 is even generous, maybe. You lose to Mill, and even like Reshizard has heal now. Either they play a Sorola or they play Miltank, and if they're playing Evolutions as well, it gets real rough for them. Zapdos Beasts is still like a good matchup. That's like the thing you're clinging on to, I think. You're just trying to hit as much Zapdos as you can. You've got a really bad Zoro as well. Like, it's actually got a multitude of pretty poor matchups.
Yeah.
It's real sad as well because I was like, it's one of my highest win rate Unbroken Bonds decks on ladder, and I was like, this deck is just beating everything, man. And then it's just like, oh, it's because it's PTCGO ladder, and when you face real people, they aren't brain dead, and you don't get given literally free prizes.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty overhyped for what it is. Like, it may end up sitting in like tier 3, but I can see Zapdos changing and making life difficult for Weezing, even with like a 1-1 Jolteon and Max Potion. That's all it takes to make Weezing from a very bad matchup to like, hey, this is actually fine now, and you have a good chance of winning. So, like, yeah, I'm off Weezing as like a completely viable candidate. I know there's a lot of hype from like Russell and someone's PC guys came up with a good like initial list and stuff, but I think the knee-jerk reaction from this weekend is that Blower comes in and Evolutions comes in, and that's all bad news for Weezing.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Weezing, Adam? Have you pulled the trigger on it IRL?
I've got friends who've definitely built it and have wanted to test it.
Okay.
Mainly on a train journey back from Bristol, which was tiring. I personally think the deck's it's like any spread deck. It struggles against good players because they know how to control their board, they can limit themselves, they know how to play around spell tags, play around spreading in general. And then obviously if Field Blow becomes good, spell tags disappear, you're just left doing 10 damage to a basic Pokemon and 40 per turn, which isn't amazing when you think about it.
Yeah.
So I think when you have good players and they're playing the correct techs, Weezing just doesn't do enough.
Yeah, that's the sort of consensus I sort of had as well. Our story, Joe, seems so similar online. You're like, look at me, pow, detention gas, have some of this. I even did I did an 8 prize turn. I was like, this is the life. And then rocked up to that cup, and yeah, it just didn't really seem to just missing stuff.
I'll tell you a game. There was a game where my opponent was like bricking super hard against me, and I was like, if I was playing literally any other deck, I won this game 4 turns ago. Instead, there's 80 damage on you. Yeah. I'm not playing Weezing again.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. It's like when they're dead, right? Yeah, look at my tension gas racking up, moving the dog. Where it's like, yeah, if you was playing Mali, you'd just be like, yeah, Photon guys at 300, get away, like, you know.
Yeah.
That's a very good way of looking at it. Yeah. So they have now been taken out the sleeves and they are in the binder over there. And as much as it pains me to say, I think that's where they're staying. But yeah, anyone that does want to play Weezing, I want to just run some text by you guys and we just sort of say yes or no, because there's quite a few. Like you said, someone's PC put out some good lists. I'm actually sub to them. They had some good stuff in there that I never even thought of, to be fair. So we'll start off with the one that me and Dimitri had a very decently sized debate about. Ravenclaw, Hunchcrow. What do you think about that one, Adam?
It requires the use of your Ditto, or you're playing a Murkrow. I just don't think it's good enough. You're going to be using Magical Swap at some point to try and win the game.
Yep.
Honchkrow, I just don't see where it's helping you in that situation. Like things like Zorok, which are generally are harder matchups, they're not going to have that many damage counters on board anyway because they're replacing and healing.
Yeah.
I just don't see where it does enough.
Okay. Joe, what we think about Ravenclaw?
Bad.
Bad?
Yeah.
That's what I also said. It's taken away from your win con at the end of the day. The only reason I could see why you like it is if they drop something big late game and they try and beat you with that. But that seems a bit
like a Zapdos dropping a Coco GX late game.
That's
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the only reason I could see.
But they're a deck that's gusting .deck anyway, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're dropping Buzzmosa, and there's just never enough damage to one-shot that.
Yeah.
That's actually what happened in testing. It's almost like you were there watching, Adam. That's a Buzzmosa of the beast. Yeah. 40. Yeah. Whoops. Frost Rotom, Adam.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Reshizard's difficult already just because they have one Pokemon in play. So you're doing 40 damage to this Pokemon that's got 270 HP. But they do have to attach 4 energy half the time. I mean, they can outrage. So that's where Frost Rotom loses its edge.
Yep.
But if they don't outrage and they have to go for that Flare Strike, or they try and set up 2 Pokemon, it can just take that 3 prizes and it just gives you the other win condition, which you need to have against Reshizard because they play so much healing and they're just so bulky.
Yeah. Okay. Joe, Frost Rotom? Oh.
No. Bad.
Why is that then? Tell Adam why he's wrong.
Because Mimikyu is the same as Rotom. He even said that it's bad when they're outraging you, which is the only argument people say Mimikyu is bad. So.
But then they can outrage and have 4 energy in play, and then the Frost Rotom's better.
I mean, sure. But that's it.
Yeah, I'm with Joe on this one, unfortunately.
They'll have to Flare Strike you at some point. They have to.
Yeah, I took out...
If they're dropping a late game Reshizard, which is like the only time you're worried, they have to Flare Strike.
Or GX.
They've already done that. They did that on one.
Yeah, because they're a Reshizard player. They're aggressive. They just want to just twat something.
They did that on turn 1.
Yeah. Well, I'm with Joe. I took out my Frost Rotom and just with the assumption that Mimikyu is very similar and has a bit more usage in other places. But one funny thing that did happen to me, I was in that League Cup. This just shows how little I've looked at Charizard Reshiram. I was playing against someone and they used Flare Strike, and I had the counter energy Mimikyu in hand, right? And the Coco went to Coco. And I thought Flare Strike was the GX. So I thought, oh no, they've done me there, haven't they? So I did a Weezing, and then next turn these are the GX, and I was like, oh. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That was a proper like, oh right. I was like, I thought Flare Strike was the GX. I was holding the counter energy thingy. So yeah, but I find I learned from my mistakes. So I've made that mistake now. Now I'm very clued up on what Charizard and Reshiram's attacks are. Well, there was another tech I had in my head. What was it? Oh, I can't remember now. I can't remember.
Was it Larvitar?
I think that's a staple, surely. Surely Larvitar. Okay, we'll do Larvitar. I'm definitely yes on Larvitar.
It's depending on the Zorok. If you think Zorok's big, you play it. If you're expecting Zapdos, it's just a dead card. If you're expecting Reshizard, and they're not going to drop Eevee Snort, they shouldn't be dropping Eevee Snorlax against you.
Okay.
Yeah, thumbs up from me. Good card.
There we go. So we did get one thumbs up out of Joe for our Weezing text. There we go, and it was Larvitar. There we go. It really good against Pikarom, obviously. But yeah.
Pikarom's not a problem.
No, yes, I say Pikarom isn't a problem. But one thing I sort of gathered as we were talking about it, we kept on saying for Weezing, there's a lot of ifs, right? If they do this, if they do that, and that's why I just don't think it can ever really be top tier. Because like, if they bench stuff, if they attach energy, and it's like, well. Like
it's just really reactive.
Yeah.
It's like, and on those reactive turns, you're like, man, I hope I Cynthia and hit like Bull Search counter energy. And like, if you're trying to set up 2 turns in advance, you're like, man, I hope I Cynthia into these pieces anyway. Yeah. Like, whilst you also have to have a consistent way to get back like Weezing energy every other turn as well. So like, it's a constant cycle of you needing more stuff every turn. So it's hard.
Yeah. So Weezing, pain me to say, sorry mate. Sorry, geezer. You gassed me up.